Imagine if every dollar you earned represented a second of your life. How long would it take to earn $1 million? About 11 and a half days. What about $1 billion? It would take over 31 years. But for Elon Musk, the richest man alive, with a net worth of over $210 billion, he would need more than 6,660 years. Money is something everyone from beggars to billionaires wants. It's not just a piece of paper, it's a drug in itself. Money is the language everyone knows, from business owners to 9-to-5 employees. Money is a piece of paper that has no intrinsic value but decides the value of everything. But what is it really? Just a piece of paper or the biggest illusion of human life? With money, you can buy happiness or not. Our whole life is spent on it. The fact that money is an illusion does not in any way undermine its importance. From childhood, you study extensively, go to school and take exams. Instead of sleeping, you study for hours and hours to get a good job. You get a good job somehow and work day and night. All because of money. The money that everyone seeks, the money that is everything. What is in this money? How did the money come about? How did the concept of wealth evolve from primitive trades to the complex financial system we have today? How did humanity come to accept these rectangular pieces of purple trees as something to spend 8 to 10 hours a day working for? What is it really? Just a piece of paper or a mighty illusion running our lives? How did it become a language that everyone in the world understands? How did this lifeless thing make us its slave? About 17,000 years ago, when there was no sign of money, humans lived in small tribes with only one goal: hunt and survive. Prey wasn't something easily found every day, but hunger struck daily. This hunger forced one tribe to take and give something to another tribe. If you give me fresh meat, we will give you our weapons. Both parties benefited from this transaction, and so the barter system was born. The barter system is said to have originated among Mesopotamian tribes. Mesopotamia is the name of a region in the Southeast Asia where modern-day Iraq is located. The barter system changed us. People who used to fight each other started to live together. Everyone started trading with each other. Thousands of years later, as the population grew and the farming began, the shortcomings of the barter system became apparent. It was hard to remember who to trade with and what to give. To manage this, we started writing on small pieces of clay, beginning the practice of accounting. However, the problems of barter system persisted. Finding someone who wanted what you had and had what you wanted was challenging. Imagine trading 10 chickens for a cow. It works until the other party wants grain instead of chicken. Barter had its limits, driving societies to seek a more efficient medium of exchange. And now we wanted something that everyone wanted. Thus, money begins. But it's not the money you were thinking of. It was commodity money. We monetized everything that was rare and useful. Items like grains or cattle, which everyone valued. It was common to use slaves as money at the time. On Yap Island, people used large donut-like stones weighing up to 5 tons called Rai stones. Once placed, they stayed there forever. People just remembered who owned them. Commodity money made life easier, but had a big problem. It was difficult to know the value of what I had. Each commodity seemed to have its own distinct value. Also, trading cows, salt, grains, shells, or even tobacco as currency had its problems. Grain could rot and cattle could die. We needed something with a certain value and a long expiration. Over time, metallic money started in ancient Greece. The first standardized coins appeared in Lydia, modern-day Turkey. The Lydian stater, also known as the tetradrachm, was one of the earliest known coins, introduced in 595 BC. Gold and silver were mixed to make these coins depicting lions. It's said that coins were first introduced by the Chinese in 1000 BC. After the Lydian stater, everybody started making and using coins because trading with them became very easy. But these two-legged creatures had a problem with this too. In 500 BC, when overseas trading was booming and all trade was done in coins, the more coins, the more heavy they are. Their heavy weight took up more space on ships and lengthened transport time, increasing the risk of theft. It's easy to count coins, but who will count so many coins? So, some goldsmiths and others came up with a solution. Leave your gold with us and we will give you a receipt, an IOU. This became the first form of paper money during the Tang dynasty in China. You take this paper and come to retrieve your gold coins whenever you want. And people thought, why change it into gold and silver? Just trade this paper. Imagine trying to pay for groceries with a stack of gold bars. That's why this idea of IOUs quickly spread out of China. But unknowingly, power was about to begin, which was impossible to stop. Banks. Because of paper money, international trading increased to an extreme. IOUs or paper money of that time became widely available. After understanding this, goldsmiths got greedy. Their IOUs had become money. So they started making fake IOUs. They didn't have gold, but still they kept making more IOUs. These led to inflation. What was worth 1 IOU increased to 10 IOUs. Banks did not have as many gold coins as there was paper money in the entire city. This is how the world's biggest legal scam started, which is still going on. These flying cash notes make trading easier across vast distances, but were still tied to tangible assets like silver and gold. Jumping to medieval China, paper money started to gain traction. Marco Polo himself marveled at the use of paper currency in his travels. With paper money came the rise of banks. These institutions didn't just store wealth, they started issuing loans and creating new money through lending. The economy was evolving and so was the power of money. As money became less tangible, its influence grew stronger, slipping into every corner of human life. By the 17th century, European banks began issuing banknotes, evolving into what we now recognize as modern banks. This period also saw the birth of stock markets where people could invest in ventures, further expanding the power and reach of money. This concept eventually led to the creation of central banks like the Bank of England in 1694, standardizing money and stabilizing economics. But even this system wasn't without flaws. The gold standard tying currencies to gold restricted economic flexibility. In 1971, the United States abandoned it entirely, moving to a fiat currency system. Money backed not by physical commodities but by government decree. This shift paved the way for modern digital banking. Today, your money often exists only as numbers on a screen, transferred with a click of a button. But what truly gives money its power? It is our collective trust and belief in its value. Think about it. Those colorful notes and shiny coins, they are just papers and metals. Their power comes from our collective trust in their value. From a young age, we are conditioned to trust money as a measure of success. This is why people chase wealth, often at the expense of happiness and well-being. Without that trust, they are just meaningless objects. This trust is so ingrained that money facilitates everything, from daily transactions to international trade. We now have credit system, digital wallets, and cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. The ones and zeros in your bank account hold value because we believe they do. This belief is what keeps the wheel of economy turning. So, is money really an illusion? From the poorest beggar to the richest billionaire, everyone speaks the language of money. Money fuels innovation and growth. It's why we have skyscrapers touching the clouds, cars faster than ever, and endless possibilities in tech and medicine. It's the most powerful illusion driving economies, shaping lives, and influencing every decision we make. But understanding this can empower us to see beyond it and manage it wisely. It's more than just a medium of exchange. It's a powerful motivator and a status symbol. So, what's next for money? What does the future hold for money? Will traditional banks become obsolete? How will it continue to evolve? As technology evolves, so does money. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum represents a new frontier in the evolution of money, offering decentralized digital alternatives to traditional currencies. With the rise of digital currencies and blockchain technology, we are on the cusp of another monetary revolution. Yet, with innovation comes challenges. Challenges like regulatory hurdles, cybersecurity threats, and the ongoing debate about privacy and control. What do you think? Will the future of money empower everyone, or will it deepen the divide? Money can offer freedom, but also act as a constraint if pursued blindly. Instead of chasing money, focus on solving problems and adding values. Wealth often follows. Remember, it's not about how much you have, but what you do with it. So, maybe don't buy the 5th cup of overpriced coffee today. Now you know about money, its origin, history, and future. Whether being an illusion or not, from the humble beginnings to its digital future, money has shaped and will continue to shape our world. So if you want me to come up with a video about how to turn money into your slave and earn tons of money, comment yes. If you enjoyed this exploration into the world of money, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more mini movies that dive into the topics that shape our lives. And remember, whether it's a dollar or a Bitcoin, it's our collective trust that gives money its worth.